I'm here with Dave Collins, currently with EXP Realty. We just came out of the general session, and there's a lot of aha moments coming out of EXPCon here. So Dave, what brought you here to EXP?
Well, so I've been in the industry roughly 35 years in various different aspects of it, mostly in executive leadership. So I have worked in from the independent brokerage world and the indies to multiple franchises to actually running a global franchise in the Realogy system.
Yeah, and when we talked about that, you've got a vast array of experiences with all different companies in real estate. You've been doing it for a long time. What is it about EXP that's different, and why choose EXP when you have knowledge of all these different brands?
Yeah, I think as you watch the industry change over that many years, you see the different models that come out. And part of my job was to understand those models and study them and see them. And they've continued to adapt and change. And what I've seen from EXP in particular is for an agent or even a team or a brokerage moving over, for doing what they've always just done, there are so many other benefits that come with it.
Right.
So I'm in production, I'm doing a ton of work, and I'm getting paid on what I do. But imagine now doing that, getting paid on what you do, and then also receiving stock and the things that come with it.
So many different opportunities outside of just doing your job. And if all you do is just sell real estate, it's still the best place to be.
It's still the best place to be.
Right.
Brokers have been talking for years about ancillary revenues.
Right.
So brokers build out mortgage companies and title companies and insurance companies because they need to get revenue streams from other places. And yet, this is really the first place where the agent has been able to do that.
Right. And that's the thing too about EXP. It's so decentralized that the possibility for revenue from the company, it allows them to pour back into the agents as opposed to spending money on things that are overhead related, right? So it's more agent. Every company is going to say they're agent focused. But when
Absolutely.
a company actually takes their revenue and they have the ability, because they have low costs, to pour back into the agents, it's huge. So let's talk about other opportunities when it comes to being an agent, right? Outside of the ancillary stuff, when I'm an agent, how can I grow here at EXP? What opportunities do I have to grow as an agent here that I don't have at other brokerages?
Well, I think, and we were talking briefly about it before we started here. You know, when you think about the timing of the virtual brokerage, everybody, when EXP launched, was, and they've got this cartoony world that you go to in your avatars. But then we had a global pandemic that put everybody working from a much more remote place.
Yeah, they have to be mobile.
Right. So what EXP offered at that time, and why I think there's been such exponential growth since then, is all the things that every other brokerage, offered their agents, promised them, gave them training, was very difficult for them to deliver. Where at EXP, you go into the world, the training with some of the best trainers and agents in the industry are there live. You're able to get to your broker, your state broker, very easily.
Yep.
And I think just the amount of times that people have gotten used to using Zoom, it's no different, except that you have a little cartoon character. And in my case, my little avatar looks way better than me because they don't actually have an old man avatar in there. So I look way younger and way thinner. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is, like, you've got all this experience in real estate. We're here at EXPCon, and I've seen Glenn Sanford walk by, the founder of EXP. I've seen agents who are in production at $880 million per year. They've grown these massive teams, and they've created a life, not just for themselves, but for their agents.
Right.
But that decentralization allows you and me access to the knowledge that those people have used to build those teams. And that happens on a daily basis here at EXP, right? You talked about our avatar. We go into the world. There's these icon classes where agents are teaching this stuff. Did you spend a lot of time in the world, or is that more something that...
I spend a little bit of time in there, mostly from, I'll go into the auditorium. You can basically get a conference of training just by going in the world and sitting down and listening to, again, some of the top people in the industry speaking.
Right, and a lot of the conversation here at EXPCon, because of the timing, has to do with the shifting of our market right now.
Right.
And you and I were talking about that too. There's a lot of dialogue out there about the market. What recommendations would you give to agents all across the country, in the United States right now, where rates have gone up recently? What advice would you give to us when it comes to communicating this stuff?
Yeah, I think that the general consumer and in fact many agents tend to, we're in a world where information is fed to us in such a rapid form that we tend to just read the headline.
Right.
And that must be, well, if the headline says this, that must be what the article's about. My recommendation for everybody is be the one that knows the market better than anybody else. And you do that by understanding the data behind it. Going to places where you can get the fact that the headline, I read a headline this morning about, how sales are down, how, number of units is down, how the number of locked loans is down significantly.
Right.
But what does that mean unless you know what the baseline is? If inventory, by example, is up 30%, but the baseline was only 100 units, we're still short on inventory, right?
Yeah.
And so know that data, know that when people say the market or prices are coming down, it's really more around the list prices. Everyone is still projecting an appreciating market going into 2023.
And would you agree too that what we're experiencing right now, it would be better considered as a new normal, and what we've had over the last 2.5 years has been an abnormality, just a huge bump, and we got used to good times.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement that what we're going through right now is more balanced and normal?
We're working our way towards more balanced. I don't think we're there yet. And there is still too many household formation is still up. There's 45 million people this year that are turning first-time home buyer age.
Wow.
Inventory is still at what, 2.5 months nationally?
Yeah.
Balanced to 6 months. We don't have any place to put these people, and the demand is there. And so I think we're moving towards a more normalized market. The difference for me between previous normalized and now is that because of what we saw in the abnormality of the last 2 years and that rapid price appreciation, affordability in certain price ranges is going to be more of an issue than it has been.
Right. Anything else you want to highlight while we're right here at EXP Con, things that agents might need to know, want to know, anything you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, get into the resources that you have. Here at EXP, you can get into the world. You can tap into some of the top people in the industry, talk to them, find out, understand so you can educate the consumer. But also, realtor.org. How many people go into realtor.org every month and look at the housing stats?
Right.
It's very simple. Just go in there, go to reports, get the housing stats, get the demographic information that's provided to you. Don't spend so much time working on your business that you forget to work, or in your business that you forget to work on it, right?
Right.
So we were coming out of a market where everyone was so busy, they didn't have time to really sit back and work on their business, business planning, knowing the stats.
We forgot.
Well, I mean, you're busy writing contracts,
right?
And every farmer will tell you, make hay while the sun shines, right? And so you got to keep doing that. But then now, if you're going to win in this market, you absolutely need to be better than the others. We have 1.58 million realtors in this country, right? How are you going to be in the top 10% of that?
So what do you think the answer to that is? How do you be better? How do you get yourself in the top half or the top upper echelon of agents? Like what is the one or two things that you can do?
Have a really solid business plan.
Okay.
And stick to it. I'm a big proponent of the book, The 4 Disciplines of Execution.
4DX.
4DX.
Lead measures and lag measures.
Right. So what is your wildly important goal? What are your lead measures and your lag measures? How are you scoring yourself?
Yep.
And the thing I would tell my teams all the time, one key thing out of that book, the wildly important goal. Say that wildly important goal is going to be, I want to do X number of dollars in production. The quote in the book says, the failure to meet your wildly important goal, that 1 or 2 goals, renders everything else you did all year irrelevant. So staying out of the whirlwind, because how many of us have gone through a day, a week, a month, a year, and said, oh my God, I was so busy, but you can't figure out what you accomplished.
Right. Busy doing what?
Busy doing what? Busy
Right.
responding to inspection requests, busy responding to appraisal issues, busy responding to buyers, and their questions.
And all
So,
that's for naught if you didn't
if you didn't hit your goal.
the one thing. Yeah.
Right. So business planning, number one. As part of that business planning, I would become a student of the market.
Yeah. Study the numbers on realtor.org. Learn your market locally and how to explain that and tell that story.
Subscribe to Housing Wire. They have some great articles. They have some great economists that talk in their monthly and weekly newsletters. There is the chief economist, Danielle Hale at realtor.com. She puts out a great economic monthly forecast that really goes into a lot of these things that I'm already talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not an economist. I just study stuff.
You've just read. And
Everybody
learned.
can do what I just talked about.
Right. Awesome. You heard it right here from Dave Collins out of North Carolina. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate your time.
Aaron, appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
great
a lot.
to meet you.
All right, good to meet you.